resorts and hotels.
So now
It's
it's
amazing.
it's bikinis,
We don't really talk to-
convertibles, and wine.
Mhm,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
no trouble there.
And no, not at all.
I was saying it's the at work but not work podcast because we're it's during the work hours that we're actually recording and filming, but we're talking about totally non-work related items.
Oh.
So it's the
your
at work,
mind's-
not work.
Your mind's going crazy.
Yeah, it's insane right now. I have to try to control myself.
It's the morning walks. It's got you.
I tell you what. So I throughout. Probably started in college or even high school, working out all the time.
Well, what's
then
it
you
called?
go to a military
PT?
college,
Yeah.
PT, right? And so I'm required to work out every day. Then to get into the Army, you're working out every day. So you spend like 10 years of your life, like we're up early every day. And then so I naturally went into that after. And then there's like breaks and pauses that we do. It's like, you know what? I actually don't want to get up at 6 a.m. and go work out. But I always get up at 6 a.m. and I just kind of drink coffee and do work and hang out. And
You
read.
work a lot in the mornings, yeah.
And
but
so-
this last week, you've really been good.
Yeah, I decided to. I read a great article that said that you really don't need to do a lot of exercise, but walking is actually the number one thing to just kind of keep your heart healthy. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get up and walk for an hour every morning.
Healthy heart. I know, and I'm over here like lounging. I'm not a morning person,
What was
guys.
it?
I'm just not. I'm not even going to try to
You
pretend.
said something
that
the
I
other day.
am.
And it was someone's like, you need bed rest, and I was like, I made a joke to you, and I was like, yeah, you're kind of like on bed rest from like what 6 p.m. to
I wasn't the
9
one that
a.m.
needed to be on bed rest, but I mentioned it. And Chris was like, he was like, you do bed rest every day. He's like from 6 to 9. And I was like, I guess.
Which isn't true because we get up to make dinner and everything else, but we have
I
a handful
make
of
dinner,
shows
I
on
do all
certain
the
days we
dishes and
watch. So
laundry. Yes, anyway.
I wouldn't call us couch potatoes
I
because we're
know.
out frequently.
But you've been up and walking, and I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, what snacks can I find? In fact,
so it's like working out, then coffee. So now
For you.
now I feel great. Now I'm jacked up on caffeine.
and then you come in the room and it's like not even 8:00 yet, and trouble's in the room.
I
Pepper
guess we
just
forgot
came in.
to.
I didn't shut her in. I know. No, speaking of mornings, you almost forgot to give her breakfast this morning. But that's the thing. You're always the one up early. You feed the dog, you get up, you do your coffee, you work, and now you've added walking to the mix. So now it's like the dog stays in bed because she doesn't even want to get up at 6 a.m. It's too
No.
early for all of us in the household. But you get up, you go for your walk, and then this morning you came in and you were like going a million miles a minute, and it was like 7, and I'm like waking up and I'm just like, holy cow, like the ideas going on in your brain were just pretty intense. And
The funny thing is that you had messaged me and you said that Pepper misses her morning massages. And so I was like, yeah, because if I get up early, then I leave her there. If I get up kind of mid-morning is like 6:37, then I sit down next to her and then I give her like a full
like a
little
full
back
body
massage.
massage. I know,
I
she's
massage
very
her
spoiled
paws and her
dog.
legs.
She's
and
very spoiled
she
dog.
basically gets a full body massage. And then we get up, she goes out, she potties, I come in and we feed her, or I feed her. And then she kind of hangs out, follows me, and then she gets pissed if I don't bring her to work. So
right, I know.
yeah.
Well, she did. So
she tore into my trash. 'cause-
She's a very well-behaved dog. First of all, Chris should not have so much trash in his trash can, or she wouldn't go through it. But when it's full and to the brim in his office downstairs, which is right by the door where we walk out, he will sometimes have Kleenex in there. And she's so weird, but she loves Kleenex. And so when she's pissed at us for something, she actually goes in and
tears
the
something up.
Kleenex apart.
It's like-
so you
it's
know
like this
she's
defiant
She doesn't
teenager.
even eat them. She just like leaves them on the floor. But then when you come home,
She knows that she did it.
She cowers.
She's
She's
cowering
like,
in her bed. She's like,
"Oh
she's
my
got that look.
gosh."
She's looking at you and she's like, do you know yet?
I know, exactly. She's being so bad right now, walking all around
know.
this room. She's
That's all right.
such a
I'm just gonna ignore
distraction.
her.
I know. I don't know if I can.
No, just ignore her.
But yes, speaking of her being mad at us, we actually left for Disney this past weekend, which was a whole bunch of fun. And she stayed. My parents were in Seattle still watching our niece. And so Pepper stayed
She
with
went
our
on a field
neighbors
trip
for the
to a
very
neighbor's.
first time. I know.
Yeah.
She's never stayed anywhere else. So it was.
And we've never boarded her. Like she's
so
only
spoiled.
stayed with us
Or my
family,
parents, yeah.
which is really just
my
your
parents,
family.
or she's
Really,
gone to like
that's
the
it.
cottage in Michigan, and she's been
Or
watched
she traveled
by my,
with us.
Yeah, she's been watched by my aunt.
So she
and
went to
uncle
our
before.
neighbors, who are great older couple, retired, and they
Yeah,
love
they're
Pepper.
amazing.
And they've been asking us for probably 2 years now, like, when can we watch Pepper? Like, go on a trip. Let us watch Pepper.
I know. And I was a little, not nervous, but Pepper loves going to visit people, and she always goes over and says hi. And this time she said hi, and then I was going to leave, and she was coming with me, of course, because she always
course.
says. And then I was like, no, you
Did
need
she
to stay
run through
here.
the little opening there? Or did she stay in the other yard? Or did you leave her in the house when you left?
I left her in the house. Her in
Okay.
the house. There was a break between our yards, so
Between
she.
our 2 yards is like a little.
Oh, she totally
little
would have gone through to come
2-foot
home with me.
opening that's open. And Pepper, when she was little, she would go in that yard, but we would always stop her. Now she's like got like an invisible
know.
plexiglass right there
Line,
where she
yeah.
can't go through.
But no, she looked at me like I was the worst person in the world. And then I got a text a few hours later that was like, oh, she's like a little vacuum. You know, we've got so many crumbs. And she's just eating all of them. And I thought, oh, dear.
Oh, my gosh.
What is she
What is she
eating?
eating?
I know. She never eats any people food. So
Yeah. Well, she survived and she did great.
she did. And Disney was fun. You had fun at the parks.
We had a blast. Rise of the Resistance was closed. And so, we had like a plan. We get in there, boom, we beeline it. We're staying in the Disney hotel. So we got early hours. We get there and like there's all these people lined up. Like what's really interesting, they like guard the entrance. So like it's like literally people and they're like, I'm like, why isn't the line going in? And of course, some people are just standing around. They're like waiting for it to open. I go right to the source. I walk right up to a cast member and I'm like, hey, what's going
happening?
on? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening? She's like, oh, we're having technical difficulties. We're going to go ahead and I was like, well, how long are you going to be closed? She goes, I don't know. Boom. Me and Bree gone. Like we are like plan B. We execute. We're like on full on light jog mode while everyone else is sitting there going, oh, it just must not be open. Like they're wasting key time because in the morning, you need
funny.
to get and ride those first rides as quickly
Right
as
away.
possible. So we
Yeah.
get over and we're making a decision. Like, do we do Slinky or do we do Toy Story Mania? Now, here's the thing. I've never ridden Slinky before. I've gone there. The line's always been too long. It's filled with kids. And I'm like, I ain't riding Slinky. And so we get there. And again, the Slinky line is like way long because we came from the wrong direction. If we had gone the other direction, we probably would have been one of the first people in line for Slinky, but it's already a couple hundred people. So we made the decision to do Toy Story because we could wait in the air conditioning. So we did that, and then the line had died down, and we made some, key decisions. Anyway, we did like a half a dozen rides
I
within
know.
2 hours.
It was definitely
and
a hot day.
It was a
so
hot day.
I didn't go to the parks. I'm just there for the resort life.
You
And
actually
so,
worked.
Yeah, I worked that day, and then I came because I am working with the
I
company
messaged the
every
rest of
day
the
now.
team and was like, "Hey, did Becca
Verified
actually show up?"
my
yeah, and they're like,
attendance
"She
to the
came,
office.
she walked around, and then she snuck
She
out."
came, she saw, she conquered.
Yeah, she
left.
snuck out.
Yeah. No, I would say bye.
No.
But yeah, so I went up there to meet you guys to hang out at the resort, and then you and I were going to spend the day at the pool at Wilderness Lodge the next day, but we were going to go out to dinner.
Yeah,
that
we had
night.
a nice dinner plan for the three
And
of us.
so I was like, oh, okay, let's go to Disney Springs. And I had looked up, Disney Springs is incredibly busy, and I'm not super
huge.
familiar with it.
so many restaurants.
So many restaurants, and walking through it, there were a million that looked gorgeous, amazing.
And we wanted
Like,
to go something we'd never been to.
yeah. So I had looked up Google, which is,
Mm-hmm.
the first mistake because it's kind of like, a tourist trap in itself being in the Disney area. So something that has a lot of reviews, like I should have known better. But I booked a reservation at this place called Boathouse, and I don't care if I'm saying the name because they deserve
No,
it.
a seafood place.
Yes.
It looks really nice. It's right where the little aqua cars are.
He's
for
like
those
giving
of you-
very specific directions. By the way, do not ever go there if your life depends
There's a
on it.
little liquor cart on the outside, and the drinks were $11. That was
Yeah,
actually
the
a
drinks
great deal.
outside were the best part about the entire thing. But we
We had
ended up.
reservations for 7:30.
No, we had reservations. Let's just call it 7. It was 7:30. They moved us up to 7 because I called earlier in the day, and so we had reservations at 7:00 confirmed.
Confirmed.
We get there. There's like a line out the door, and I'm kind of looking at all these people like, do you have reservations and you're waiting in this line? Or so like
It's like
everyone.
when you're like the snooty, and you're like, "I'm sorry, I know you're waiting in line, but I have reservations."
and everyone's like, so do we. And you're
right,
like,
and everyone's
okay.
like, "Well, we have reservations too. You're not special.
So
Like, get in the
everyone's
back
like,
of the line."
okay, so I'm in line. And we get in or whatever, and they're like, oh, we're a little bit behind on our reservations right now. It'll be a while, but that was fine. We're at Disney Springs. They said like 20 minutes, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, no big deal.
So we
We'll
walk
to a couple
around to a
stores.
couple of different stores. They were going to text us when they were ready or whatever. Well, now it's been like 30 minutes. We're sweating.
Tried on hats.
If
And that's
you
when I
come-
got the drink. 'Cause
right.
I was like, hey, if we're going to be outside here.
And if you go on the inside, they've got a little shop or whatever. But meanwhile, all these people who are actually eating in the restaurant, I mean, they have like over 50 to 100 people standing in the front of the restaurant waiting for tables. Everyone's got reservations. Everyone's waiting. And they're like just in the way. You know, you're like crowded while you're trying to enjoy your meal. It was
Yeah.
horrible. So by the time they finally sat us, it had been like 45 minutes or something. And we sit down and I'm like, wow, we're an hour late. And then they have all these tables that need to be sat. The tables are available. And they're waiting for a hostess to just come up to the stand to go sit people. It's like, look, if you point to the table
We'll
on
walk
your
over
seating
there.
chart right now, like I will walk, you know.
Go to table 10. It's the one between the guy there mowing down on a lobster tail.
know.
And the,
Seriously. So we finally sit down. This woman comes over. She's going to be our waitress. And she's like, oh, you're going to get bread and I'll be back to get your drinks in just a minute. She didn't even take our drink order. We
No.
end up sitting there for another, no
20
joke,
minutes.
20 minutes before she comes back just to take our drinks. And then she proceeded to forget a drink.
she forgot Bree's tea.
She didn't bring the tea.
She brought our alcohol drinks.
She forgot like every sauce
Every
or
little teeny
dressing
thing.
we asked for.
We asked
The
for sauce.
Food
We asked for
looked like
bread.
it had
We
been
asked for
sitting out
everything had been
forever.
had been forgotten.
The food was not that great at all. Anyway, it was just a horrible experience. And talk about extortionate. It was a very expensive meal.
Yeah.
And we were willing to pay it, even though we haven't been going out as much, because it was kind of like we're going to spoil
Yeah,
ourselves.
we're on
We'll
the
do a
water.
special
We're on the
occasion.
lake there. We have a nice
Yes.
little sunset, and our bill comes in. It's like $140 for 3 people.
Which was
Did
crazy.
we get an appetizer? We got some salads.
No, yeah, we did not get an appetizer at all. It was like 3 meals, and we like it was silly.
It was high. It
And
was
so the
high.
question is, you know, do you tip? Like almost everything was forgotten. We would have spoken to a manager, but it was like, I can't even wait for our waitress to come back to care about even paying our bill.
yeah.
But like to even ask for a manager to come over after the experience, I'm getting worked up just talking about it again.
I can tell.
And so
Are you sweating?
No, I'm okay. But it was like, what is the point of doing that? And you feel like, you know, even if those places would compensate you or be like, sorry,
If the food was slow, I think we would have tipped well.
you mean if the food was good?
And if it was good.
You said if the food was
Well,
slow.
well, here's the thing, right?
does that
It's
even
like,
mean?
so who are we tipping? We're not tipping the chef. We're not tipping the chef's ability to get food out. We're tipping the waitress and their service.
And she just didn't check
And
on us at all.
she forgot like 5 different things, or
I know.
forgot about us, didn't come
I
to us.
probably
We
would
were
have
we were
given her-
at an hour before we actually
Got anything.
got anything.
I know. It was insane.
And we had been sitting for 25 minutes.
And keep in mind, we had reservations. So the worst part is we said to the woman, the waitress, we were like, hey, we've
Oh
been,
yeah, this is why she got a bad tip.
well, it was like, we've been waiting, you know, we had reservations at 7, you know, it's almost 8:00. We were kind of like just sharing what our experience had already been, thinking the waitress would be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm really sorry. We are behind
Some
tonight,
empathy
but
or something
anything,
that's like,
sorry, you actually
hey,
took,
let me get some bread out to you guys. You guys
You-
are starving probably. Let
Yeah.
me get your drinks to you.
you took the initiative to make a plan to go to a restaurant that would serve, and she sat there and she was just like, oh yeah, she was like, on a weekend, she's like, that's pretty normal. I mean, yeah, she's like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you expect to get in here or whatever. And it was kind of like, so if this is a common occurrence at this restaurant, wouldn't you change how many reservations you offer? Like, what?
Absolutely.
Why do you keep just allowing for your,
I think
your
a lot of those
patrons
people
to have a
didn't
bad
have
experience?
reservations. They just kind of let them in. And you know when people have
Anyway.
reservations or don't. It's like so.
I
It's,
was-
it's hard, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, we ended up not tipping very well.
Well, I would have probably tipped 20% and just left a note. You left under 20%, which is very rare
I left
for
under
us.
10%.
Yeah, and you left 10%, which
10%?
you did.
It was
and
under 10%.
I wouldn't have done that. But if I was the waitress at the same time, because I have worked in hospitality, I would look at it and go, well, I did literally forget everything they asked for.
Yeah.
You know, like, what do you expect? The thing
And then-
is
and then you
that
really
people
to
have
ask
the
yourself,
expectation.
do you put the unhappy face on the receipt? You know, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
two
yeah.
little lines,
Yeah,
little
for
sad
sure.
face.
Yeah.
And just be like, sorry.
Sad. We're really sad.
We're just really sad.
We're sad for you, but we're more sad for
But they're
us.
people too, and that's why it's always a struggle because you're sitting there going, how much is that?
I would
It was
not-
100% her fault.
Well, but I
in
would
this
not
thing.
want to work there.
Yeah.
Like in those busy restaurants where you're trying to carry food. She wasn't
And
carrying.
the food wasn't that great.
She did not carry any of the food. They
I
had
feel like
food
there was
runners.
something there that was really good though.
The bread. The
Was
honey,
it
the honey buns.
The honey buns. They
Honey
like
buns.
soaked these buns with honey on them.
I know, it was like a honey butter.
Oh, that's nice.
They were really good. Oh my gosh.
So then we basically the next day we actually
that's
didn't go to the
nice.
resorts at all. We actually stayed at the resort. A lot of people like if you're going to pay that kind of money to stay at a Disney resort, you need to be spending time by the pool and actually enjoying the resort you're staying at.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Well, in this, I will say.
And so we had a first, something that's never happened to us before.
I know. I'm not trying to be on like a complaining spree, but this was not the most relaxing pool we've been to at Disney Resort.
Let us tell you, our expectations must be so high. You know,
Maybe.
we are sitting there, and two things. One, we're at a resort,
I know the pool,
and it didn't even
I
open
forgot.
until 10 o'clock.
Which we are early birds. Like even on vacation, I mean, we're up at 7 a.m. We're getting coffee.
We're getting up. We're getting coffee.
walking.
We're picking out our chairs. We're laying out our towels. We might walk around, or we might not get in the water, but we want to be
everyone-
laying by the pool.
Everyone listening right now, if you've ever been to like the Caribbean or a resort, you know dang well. I mean, 90% of the people are going out there and they're putting their shit on a chair at like 6 a.m.
Oh,
to
yeah.
save their spot, or
Like,
you
I'm
will
out.
not get a spot.
I'm
I know that
claiming
is
some
definitely
best
your job on
chairs.
our vacation. But even we went to a Sandals resort for the very first time, and we were shook because you can hire the butler service, and the freaking butlers
Go out there
save the
and
spots
they put
for
your
these
spots
people.
out
and you're
there.
like, well, this is
But I was
a
out there
whole
with these
new ballgame.
butlers. I was like, I'm like sitting there and I'm looking around. I'm like, these guys are setting up for these other people.
I know.
I'm like,
We didn't have a butler.
and I'm like, I should be getting paid.
I
Like,
know.
I'm like,
I know. You're
I'm
my
like
butler.
your butler.
You are my butler.
I went out there.
My
I
cabana
snagged my
boy.
stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you. I appreciate it. I'll never forget when we were in St. Lucia and we left our stuff on a chair and we went into town to
passports
get
were in there?
lunch. Yeah, we
Oh,
went to
my
get lunch and it
gosh.
started raining and our passports were in this tiny little bag on the chair. He was like, "Do you have the passports?" I was like, "Oh my God, they're in the bag."
Because you were
Saving
scared to
us.
leave them in the hotel room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's my fault. I know you get
It was
too-
all your fault.
Too crazy trusting. But anyway, sorry, we're so off topic. The pool didn't even open till 10 a.m.
The pool isn't even open. So finally, the
Disney.
pool opens, and we're one of the first people to get in the pool. And I get it. Most people are going to the resorts or
Yeah,
to the
we're
parks.
at the Wilderness Lodge.
So we set up there, and then this lifeguard starts pacing in front of us. Pacing.
Like over the span of, I'm not exaggerating,
20
when
feet.
15 feet, I was going to say.
Yeah,
I
back
mean,
and
it was-
forth. And all he's doing is looking into the water.
He's not stopping.
Where there's no people.
There's seriously two people in the water and they've got to be 50 years old. Like
Yeah.
they're standing on the
And
ground.
they look down. And he's looking in the water, whatever.
He's like looking over the side, like to see if I'm like, what, are there turtles? Like where?
So I've never seen lifeguards pace and stare into the pool out of any resort I've ever
The
been
guy
at.
couldn't even. Chris got in the water at one point and he wanted to hand
Oh,
something
my
to me.
card was in my
He
pocket.
goes, "Can you hand this to my wife
was
right
like, "Can you
behind
hand it?"
you?" The guy kept pacing.
He took my card,
put his hand
put it
backwards,
behind him.
and was like, "Sir, I cannot."
He's like, I cannot move from this
It
position.
was so intense.
and I was like,
couldn't
I'm
even-
the only one in the water.
I couldn't handle.
So here's what we thought. So at this specific resort, there is a river,
Current.
like a current that flows into the
Yeah.
pool because it comes out of a geyser. So the cool thing about Wilderness Lodge is that the water comes from the spring or the geyser and it flows and then goes into the pool and then out of the pool.
Yeah.
It's just recycled water. But there's a slight current.
It's ever so slight.
Ever so
Trust me.
slight.
And by the way, it wasn't just one lifeguard. It was every 15 feet of the pool. There was a
Only on that side.
new
Because on the
lifeguard.
other side, that they were sitting in the chair.
No, they paced too on the other side
No,
after a
we-
while.
we-
Yeah, the slide was there. They had a guy on the other side pacing next to the slide.
Okay.
No,
Anyways,
there were
the
people
weirdest thing.
pacing.
And so we literally sat there, and it's very hard not to be distracted by someone pacing in front of you.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this because we got front row in the.
And then we were like, we should probably go get
sun.
something to eat.
Yeah, we actually didn't even want to like stay there and watch them pace. It was seriously.
It was just weird
It
and
was.
uncomfortable. And then when you're in the water, they're pacing and looking at you.
Right.
Which is too weird.
You're just like, look, I appreciate you wanting to keep me safe and everything, and I'm sure like parents and their children would appreciate it too. But holy cow,
gosh.
yeah, it was a lot.
These
It was a
guys.
lot to handle. So,
I don't know.
and they would when they switched shifts, which would be every seriously 15
minutes.
There would be a guy that would come.
They have like a secret handshake. It's like
They
all
would, like-
clear,
yeah.
all clear, woo woo,
they
whistle,
would like walk
handshake,
it together. I know.
and then they move on to the
I
next
know.
one.
And I wanted to be like, look, guys, I can see everything. You're good. All clear.
And I think at one point I started translating. I was just like, okay, looking, no dead children. I will take over your position and you can leave. And that's what was happening.
They really need robots with all the technology today.
Seriously. It's like, hey, child went down under the water, did not come back up.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
I know. Oh, because that stuff happens. But I get it. But it was just a little bit too much.
It was way too much.
Way too much.
know.
They don't have that much at water parks.
Yeah.
Security,
I know.
people pacing and everything else.
No, it was insane.
Not at all.
Yeah, even for like a riptide pool, you know.
So yeah, we ended up staying. We ended up coming back a little bit early because we wanted to beat the rain. There was a lot of rain coming. It's Florida.
Yeah, well, and I
Welcome
was
to the
worried about
summer.
Pepper being, you know, at a place she'd never been
Pepper
before.
had ever done her first sleepover. And
She was a little annoyed when she came back home. My parents are back home now. Their house is like not infested with snakes, but my
They
dad
found some snakes in
came
their house.
home. Yes.
in the garage and in like the lanai and stuff.
Yeah, but that snake was huge in the garage.
You know what these snakes remind me of?
What?
Last night,
What?
season premiere, Big Brother.
First of all, everything I don't even know. Oh, the
When you
challenge.
the challenge, you had to put your head in the box of the snakes.
I totally failed on that segue. You just said snake and you were like last night. And I was like,
I'll tell you what.
my mind, you guys.
This is the dirtiest person.
I didn't know where you were going. Okay, yes.
We got Snakes on Love Island and we got Big Brother. So Big Brother actually premiered last night. And we actually manufactured Dusted on Wednesday nights. And
the
so
steak seasoning.
We were manufacturing, and you know, our head of manufacturing, he basically goes, "Hey, we got to cut short tonight. We can only be here till, you know, it was like 8:15."
Yeah, it started at 9:00.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Big Brother, bro."
I know you got to keep your wives
And
happy.
I was like, "Oh, that's right." I was like, and then I had texted you, and I was like, "We got to make our Big Brother thread," because out of all the shows that we watch, Big Brother, I think,
is the one that our friends
show
watch too.
that a lot of our friends watch, and so we all comment. We all supposed to we pick a winner in the beginning,
Yeah,
and then we
that's
kind of
true.
see who gets the best pick.
I
you know,
forgot
at the
we do
end.
that.
So we have like people we're
It's
rooting
like a
for.
poll. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
March Madness, but for reality TV.
But I do think there's that other couple. I think there's at least one other couple that's joined that chat.
Yeah.
I did a search on my phone. I think we renamed the chat.
Probably.
We kind of renamed things throughout the year because it's the same groups of people.
Yeah.
So
But no, Big Brother is good, and we're watching the end of Love Island too. So our reality TV.
we're ready for Love Island to end. I am at least.
Yeah, you're over it now.
Yeah, I'm just
It's
kind of
like the drama's over. Everyone's just
everyone's
in
in
love
love.
and coming to the end,
There's-
and Chris is like, okay,
I'm like, all right, who's
no
the
more
winner?
fun anymore.
Who does America want to be
I know.
their Love Island person?
Not the crybaby.
Not the crybaby. But anyway, Rob's got this huge tattoo of a snake on his arm. And we're like enamored because we're like, Rob must be like,
Yeah, there is lots of snakes
like
everywhere.
there must be something about Rob that's special.
I don't know, but
Because
he's
every girl loves him. But the footage of Rob is like, you're like,
every time he meets a new girl, he'll be like, "Oh, wait 1 second," and he like goes and gets the biggest bug in the entire backyard, and he's like, "Look what I found! Don't freak out! It's really cool."
he found
like,
that
he's, like,
horned
testing-
horned beetle.
Dude.
And I was like, dude, I have never seen one of those outside of a museum. And this dude just found one on national television.
He's like, "Oh," and like runs to go get it.
He's like, don't be scared. I'm gonna put this
And this
4-inch
girl,
bug on your
no.
hand.
And this girl's like, "Okay," like they're trying to like make a good impression. I'd be like, "Look, this is where we draw the line. You put that bug on me, you're gonna fucking die."
Well, you know what? That's also maybe that's just like him. It's like, hey, if they can handle bugs and snakes, then they're my kind of girl.
100%. I'm
Which is
not
like
his
every
kind of
Florida
girl.
girl, pretty much.
No, I'm not. Oh my gosh,
You're
it
a
was so
Michigan
funny,
girl.
you guys.
Sorry.
So, no, I'm a Florida
You're not a
girl
Florida
now. I'm not a
girl.
native, but I am a Florida girl.
You're like
So
hybrid.
speaking of bugs in Florida, this is actually hilarious. My girlfriends are coming in August to come to the lake with us. And they were talking about renting a car. And my one girlfriend was like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to get like a fun car for your birthday weekend." And I was like, "What do you mean like a fun car?" And I was like, "Are you?" Because sometimes when we go on our girls' trips, we will get like something fancy.
A little convertible.
Yes, a little
like
convertible.
a little convertible Mustang.
So she was like, "Yeah, like a convertible." And I was like, "Do not drive down these country roads in a convertible because
know-
we have love bugs in Florida. Your car,
they're gonna be smiling with like bugs in their teeth and stuff.
thousands of bugs."
But you know what? Something
No
actually
air.
worse just happened just now.
Thunderstorm.
So
What?
like every guy that's married and their wife goes on a girls trip, right? right? And like you're trying to imagine like what are these girls doing on this trip, right? And it's like these Vegas scenes where your girls are out partying, screaming, everything.
That is not even. We're
and
like
you just
literally-
basically admitted the fact that you guys go out and get fun cars, and
No.
you're out there, and now my mind is going to sit there seeing you in the front seat and your girlfriends and
in a bikini.
and Miley Cyrus, and it's like, oh my gosh,
Put your
that's like,
hands up.
yeah, put your hand, or whatever. But now that's in my mind, and so where I thought these girls trips were actually harmless,
They're completely harmless.
I'm actually changing my
You know
mind.
what's funny is we've done a lot of different types of trips, either like in the city or just in the middle of nowhere in Airbnb. And regardless of where we are, we tend to just think the time that's together in a house is the best time ever. Although we did go to Napa Valley, and like obviously you can't beat Napa. I mean, go to the wineries and stuff, and staying
Right.
in the resorts and hotels.
So now
is
it's
amazing.
it's bikinis,
We don't really talk to-
convertibles, and
wine.
wine. Oh yeah,
yeah.
no trouble there.
And no, not at all.
None at
We don't
all.
really talk to anybody else because we miss each other so much that it's just so good to be together, laugh
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Famous last word.
We're made.
That's what they all say.
I saw this funny like video the other day that was like what my husband thinks I'm doing on girls trips, and it was like this girl like so sexy and like her bikini or whatever, and then it was like videos of actual footage.
That's what
of
I'm
them
thinking.
out.
I'm thinking
And
these
it's
Love
like the girls are
Island
like,
guys
"Oh," like,
that are
just
like muscled out, like bringing you cocktails and being like, "Hey, ladies."
no, trust me.
And you guys are like, oh, and you're like literally doing the eyeglass lower, like, oh my gosh, look at that.
we
stud
are
muffin.
not 18 anymore. I mean, I do have some gorgeous friends, but
I know, and trust me, they're all looking at the guy, and you're all like, hey, what do you think of that guy? I'm not saying you're acting on anything, but of course you're going to be like, ooh, Google-ah.
Google-ah?
Google-ah. What the fuck is that? I don't know, but it's a new word that I just made. And when girls are at a pool and they pull their glasses down like this, it's ooh-gla-gla. I actually added an extra G in there I think that time.
What's the gla-gla?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Here's what I do know is Prime Day was this week.
I know. Well, so speaking of manufacturing, you were manufacturing for Dusted last night,
Yeah.
and you were buying grills.
It's like one of those things, like across the world, and for everyone who's a Prime member, it's like, okay, we have Prime Days. I don't know if anyone.
I used to be crazy.
Maria, did you do a search for Prime Day? Did you look for deals? No. She tried not to. I'm telling you.
By the way, I was
Did you
on-
look for Prime deals?
So
Did you look? Did you? Right there.
no.
That look right there
First
was
of
like,
all-
not only did I look,
No.
but I bought.
So normally I will tell you, I look in advance. I see if there's anything special that I want that makes sense. You know, in the past, I didn't need Bose headphones, but I got some, you know, so it just depends.
Because they were 33% off.
Yeah, something like that. But this year, we needed to get Pepper a bed for Michigan when we visit. We ship the bed to my aunt's house every year. And then I need other things on my birthday list, right? So I decided to check a couple of things, like my straightener. And I'm actually really pissed at myself for not buying it. It was $20 on sale for a really good straightener, and I didn't get it in this morning. In the past, I've been able to, like, you know, twist the cord to get the light to come on and then hold it in a certain position.
Maybe you shouldn't wrap the
and then-
cord and keep
Well,
twirling it around the thing.
It's been working the last couple of days, but as you can see by the frizz today, I did not get my straightener to turn on at all today. And I did not buy one on Prime Day, and I should have, because now we're screwed.
No, you're not
I
screwed.
can't
because
wait till the end of August.
Beck is the person who creates a note in her phone and shares the
We've
note.
talked about
with
the
all
birthday
of her,
list.
It's the birthday list.
Everyone
and it's,
here knows.
And did you see your mom bought things because she marked them off the birthday
No,
list?
did she?
Yes. And I'm
so
sitting there
funny.
and I'm like, I literally opened it up. It's like, mom has edited Becky's birthday list.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like,
I haven't been
I
in
wonder
there.
what she bought. So I went in there and I was like, oh, she bought like 5 things.
That's
She was on
amazing.
Prime Day.
Oh, I bet they did go on there for Prime Day.
Maybe.
Smart.
Yeah. Well, we do.
Well, now I don't even want to sit here for the rest of this podcast. I want to go see what's checked.
And that's the crazy thing. It's like you're going to go on the list and be like, oh, I guess I got these
Do me a
things.
favor and go on there and delete what's been purchased.
Oh, because you have a horrible memory and won't remember the
I
things
won't
that are
remember.
missing.
I won't. There's been a lot of things that I've put on there.
Okay, I doubt that. I'll do that, but I doubt that.
Okay. I won't.
What you'll do is you'll add it again. You'll be like, oh, I need a hair straightener. And you'll put it on there, and it was already on there, bought.
But
and
you did
removed.
get the grills. We do grillaways for
Yeah, so it was
Dusted.
kind of like we do monthly grillaways and we do like grill reviews. And so the idea was, hey,
Subscribe
we're all
at
about budgeting. And
orderitdusted.com.
yeah, subscribe. Anyway, we do a grill giveaway every month.
Say the URL right at least.
Orderitdusted.com.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and go there. And anyways, so I was like, you know what? Let's see if there's any grills that are on discount. And I got up to like 50% off on some grills.
I don't know.
And so I bought 5.
All I know is I came home yesterday and there was like 10 really heavy boxes.
If you
to
stack
bring
5
inside.
grill boxes on top of each other, it's bigger than you.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
It was crazy. I feel like I'm the one who got the deal of the century this week.
When you
though.
married me,
Well, I said this week.
because you're still married to me.
Yes, but I did get the deal of the century when I found you. But no, I found a new pizza joint by the office.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we're on. So something big's changed in my life, and that is because you started coming to the
Can't
office.
talk in your microphone.
Because you started coming to the office, I never eat lunch. I mean, I never eat lunch because I don't leave my desk. I don't leave this building. Unless I go out, I might grab something, but very, very rarely.
I
do I eat
used
lunch.
to be like
now
that.
you're coming to the office, and now you're like, what are we
here
having
every
for lunch? And it's changed my life. I've had salads, I've had tacos, I had pizza this week, and I'm like,
Well, so pizza's not the best lunch in the world, but for some reason I was craving
gosh,
it.
this
and,
place was amazing.
And I knew we
first
were
of
going
all,
to.
Maria was holding out on us, by the way.
I know she knew all about this place.
What else is she holding back on?
Well, we did
'Cause
hear about
she lives close by.
We did
She
hear
knows
about
this area really
the
well.
Venezuelan food truck is next on my list. But
nice.
we were having salads for dinner last night. So before everybody's judging us, and we are trying to be very cognizant of our food budget still. So I went to Whole Foods earlier this week, and while it was Whole Foods, I had another grocery shop under $20. That was amazing.
It was delicious.
And I got stuff not only for the chicken dinner that we had earlier this week, but some bacon to put on the salad because I had everything else in the house. And so I made this like amazing.
Chicken smash.
Oh, that was earlier in the
potatoes.
week. Yeah, smashed red skins with green beans. But then
The green beans were so good.
everything was good. Yeah.
Fresh green beans are really, really good
If they're cooked right.
if they're cooked right. The key is to blanch your green beans.
I love how he's sharing
and
this
then,
tip.
oh
yeah,
so
and
then,
then-
yeah, you blanch your green beans
In what? You have to
in an
boil them
ice
first.
bath. Yeah. You're gonna boil them. You want to get them a little bit not al dente, but almost cooked all the way through. Then you're gonna throw them in an ice bath,
and then
blanch them,
Okay.
strain them, and then you're gonna throw them back in when
Okay.
when you're ready to kind of finish them off.
Okay. Well, that's really nice.
Yeah.
really
I
great
taught you that how to do that.
But anyway, this pizza joint is down the street. I called him and I was like, "Do you do pizza by the slice?" Because even though we were having salads for dinner, it felt kind of gluttonous to like order a pizza, unless we were feeding the office. But it was kind of late, and I thought people had already eaten, or I would have asked if people wanted pizza. But anyway, they did pizza by the slice, and when I tell you that was some of the best pizza I've had in a long time.
That was some good pizza.
So I came back.
And the crust was amazing because the cheese
I know.
had kind of melted up over the
side.
crust.
Oh,
And I'll
so
tell you
good.
what, man, nailing the crust is the key to pizza.
Oh, it was so I want to say like cushiony. It was like
It was
so
still
light
cushiony.
and airy.
It still had a crunch to
yeah.
it. And
Oh,
the
it was
cheese.
so freaking good. It's called Alini's for anybody who lives in Sarasota.
I think we should have pizza again.
Aline,
today.
I know. Well, here's the thing: 2 slices, huge slices. I cut mine in half and it
Yeah.
looked like 2 regular pieces of pizza. 2 slices and a salad, $10.50.
I know. That was a good deal.
You couldn't grocery shop for that much if you tried.
No.
I know.
We're
I
getting
know.
pizza today.
Seriously. Well, I got to try all the different flavors.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it's like at least every other day for the next couple of weeks.
The before I forget, because we were talking about buying and budgeting and stuff, we bought 2 more work tables for the office.
Oh yeah.
And I'm in a really bad spot right now because I have this, this, like I have OCD on certain things in my life.
On everything work related. Actually, everything. The only thing he's not OCD about is cleaning our kitchen counters.
Or my desk. Like I have a messy desk, both here at the office and at home.
Yeah, it's so
But
weird.
where I get OCD and weirdness is like things matching. And so we bought 2 new desks and we need 2 more chairs, but they discontinued the chairs we're on.
They did.
And so in all aspects of my life, my entire life, when this has happened, whether
We
it's
have to
been
get
like
rid of all the
folders or
chairs.
bins, I've had to go buy all new so that they all match.
So, like, just to make sure everybody's understanding here, we have decorations for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and we have orange bins for Halloween. I'm just making up colors. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
Okay.
Are they purple?
They're purple.
I thought so.
Thanksgiving is fall, which is orange.
Okay.
Leaves change
And then
color.
Christmas
Orange, and Christmas is red.
It's red, but it used to be green or something. And then we needed to like an extra 2, and he couldn't find the
So
exact
like Rubbermaid
bins.
or whoever these places, Sternlight or whatever they are, they make a style, right? And they're good for a couple of years, and then they'll tweak it. They'll change the bucket style, the shape a little bit or whatever. So if I need 2 more and I go in and they don't match the other ones,
Exactly.
then
Then
I'm
you
like,
buy all new ones.
I have to buy all new ones
Which is
because I can't
intense.
handle.
It's not a great
I can't
budgeting
handle
technique.
6 orange ones that are perfect and then 2 extra ones that aren't.
And bins
That's
are
why
a
I
lot.
usually buy extra of things because I'm always scared that they're going to run out. Like
I
if I
know.
know that someone's going to run out. So in the office, we didn't even need all the chairs that I bought originally, but I was like, we need extra chairs, we need extra desks, like just in case.
And now we do need extra chairs.
And now we do. So I came up with a solution, and that is we're going to replace the
Podcast room?
podcast
Yeah.
chairs.
And the one in my office.
Oh, do you have one of these there?
I do. I bought
That's
one.
the missing chair. Oh, it's this exact chair?
Yeah.
Okay, we're in good shape now. So that's the plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace your chair and we're going to replace the podcast room chairs. And then we'll be back at OCD neutral.
We'll be back in business.
Until the
good.
point we need more desks.
Okay.
So if we add 2 more people, because we have to add in 2s, because things have to be even.
I know you needed new stainless steel for the warehouse area, and
Yes.
I thought you were going to say something about how that wasn't going to match.
Okay, so I had to buy
This chair
all new.
issue is new to me.
Yeah, the chair issue. Actually, I added it to the notes there. It's the bottom there. New tables, can't get new chairs.
Chairs.
New chairs. So we have talking points that keeps us keeps us focused until we go off topic.
Yeah, just because we have talking points doesn't mean we don't.
Yeah, we're like the king of just falling off cliffs. Just new idea. Cliffs, like cliffs. Like you can't get back up because we just fell off and we're just free falling.
I know. I honestly don't feel like I've heard much of the conversation since we talked about pizza. I'm pretty hungry.
I know I'm starving. So should we go get
See, that's
something
what's
to
so
eat?
funny because you always say, you're like, I never ate lunch before. And I wasn't a huge lunch eater, but there's something about being back in an office that it's like you
It's
want
communal.
the break.
Yeah, there is something that's nice about having that
You're
office
like, I'm
break
just kind of like, oh,
and-
can I jog out for 2? Even Maria, she says she likes to go
Likes
to
to
her
get out of the
car. We got to
office.
change the environment up, you know?
Yeah, we got to change the environment up. One day we'll have a space big enough. We'll have a little cafeteria.
That'll be nice.
My
that's on my list
dream,
of things to
my
do.
dream thing in the office. Like, there's a couple little benefits, and it's like one is like having a sandwich and salad bar available every day. Like
Having
to
a
me,
personal chef.
not a chef. It's just, there's levels, right? So our first goal is to get full-time sandwich and like cold cuts, like, hams and cheeses and breads.
I mean, I can
and-
make sandwiches.
I know, but there's
How
something
much
about
does the position pay? Currently unemployed. Do you need a sandwich girl now?
We need a sandwich girl now, but we need the space and a little kitchen, right? So it's like, hey, like there's salad bar out, and that stuff's got to get refrigerated at the end of the day. Someone's got to clean it up. I know you're basically saying, I'll be that person.
Yeah, I'm so ready.
But it's like, hey, if you put that out every day and you're rotating it through, it's just really nice not to have to leave to get.
Tuesdays could
and then we
totally
can have
be
like a
turkey
panini
day.
press.
Oh, I like panini press.
So it's like make a sandwich, panini. Maybe we have a couple soups.
No,
soup
soups
of the
is
day?
extreme. We live in Florida.
I know. I love soups though.
Nah, it's just
We're
a
having
lot.
soups.
It's a lot.
And then like a little salad bar. And it's like, that's light, it's refreshing, it's free, and it would be like really cool to have.
Yeah.
That's like one of my number one goals.
Okay, we're a little ways away from that, but
No, we're like a year away from that.
Okay.
Make it happen. Write it down. What's
Let's
today's
make
date? The
it
18th?
happen.
July 18th. The end of next summer, we're
believe
going to
you know
have
today's
a
date.
sandwich
I don't
and
Oh, gosh. A
salad
soup
bar.
salad bar.
I was going to say soup salad sandwich bar.
It'll be our own Panera.
It'll be like
My
SSS.
stomach is literally growling.
I know,
It needs
I
pizza.
know. We gotta get out of
I
here.
know. We got to stop talking about
All
that.
right. Well, hey, we
We hope everybody enjoys lunch. If you're on your
enjoy
way.
your lunch. Go get something to eat. Go get some pizza, and we'll
Live
see you
the
next
good
week.
life. See
Yeah.
ya.
See ya.